Hello, everyone. Okay, this is video number three, part three of your October 2024 horoscope highlights with an emphasis on Pluto coming back in Capricorn for some unfinished business. Please listen to the first video. The introduction does have detail on Pluto and his story and Capricorn, so it'll help you um, understand what has been happening here with you for the past 15 years a little bit more clearly. You'll understand the energies, and that'll help you navigate this unfinished business that Pluto is coming in. So I just wanted to let you know. And also, um, this video is going to start with Virgo's horoscope. So the other signs preceding it will be on video one and two. In the comment section, I will put links to those videos and any other video after this, if there happens to be one, so you can navigate through that as well. So with this, in this video, I will start with Virgo, and I will just recap, summarize what Pluto and Capricorn has been for each sign, and then I will go through your October horoscope alignments, emphasizing again Pluto in Capricorn and what to expect. Okay, so we will start with Hi Virgo. Okay, so this is video number three, part three. And at the risk of being repetitive, just if you can briefly listen to the introduction, because there is another video, the first video that goes into detail about Pluto in Capricorn, because we are giving you your horoscope for October, but there is an emphasis on Pluto's return to Capricorn. There is this final test, unfinished business to take care of in that Capricorn related house for you. Excuse me. So, yeah, in the comment section, there will be links. So, Virgo, let me start your slideshow so you don't get bored. Okay, for most of you, Pluto's unfinished business in Capricorn has something to do with your children and or pets, lovers, gambling, and creativity. Capricorn for you rules those items. It is your fifth house of love and romance. For others, it's about dating and gambling and, well, not to be repetitive of what I said, and gambling can be like in a casino or gambling on life. It is the house of fun, just having plain good old fashioned fun. And it has hardly been that for you with Pluto's run in the last 15 years. And it has been a long 15, very transformational um, 15 years. So uh, I can't even imagine what you've gone through, but we're going to touch on some of the highlights, and hopefully you'll understand what's going on. So, to know which of these concern your unfinished business, try to remember Christmas of last year into January, even into February. Something exciting, maybe jarring or unexpected happened, where Pluto was leaving Capricorn, supposedly for good. So when Pluto leaves Capricorn, people leave, move. There was some sort of demotion, promotion, fall from grace, or a project completed or maybe even shelved or canceled, which opened up an opportunity for you in your fifth house of love, romance, children, and creativity. Um, then this is bookending the year here with Pluto returning for this unfinished business and last test. And again, the fifth house is unlike the seventh house. The seventh house is contractual partners and marriage, which is more serious. But we're talking about the fifth house. So the past 15 years, ever since Pluto entered Capricorn, you have dealt with some sort of desire, infatuation, passion, fear, control, or controlling behavior, secrets, the taboo, compromise, sheer discipline, and struggles, power struggles regarding your fifth house. And the fifth house is really for you. It was mostly about children and your children, or maybe the children that were in your care seemed like old souls, um, where you were the child and they were the parent. Um, Maybe they were involved in something secretive or dangerous, and that fear was involved. Maybe they had problems with trying to climb a social ladder or were threatened, and that ignited a fire in you to help um, resolve it at any cost. Maybe you passionately desired to have children and was having problems conceiving. Maybe you were a romantic interest were fearful of getting pregnant. Or and for almost all of you or most of you, there was an inappropriate age gap with your lovers. And sometimes, because Pluto is relentless, so he tries you in all areas. So it sometime may maybe have bordered on the taboo. It could have been a fear control or a power struggle, also with a regarding an issue with a pet. Maybe maybe you developed a gambling problem. Whatever your personal situation has been, you in particular have shaped and highly influenced the next generation, inclusive of younger lovers, and of course, your heirs and spares. So, sticking to the parental Virgos, throughout these past 15 years, some of you have been separated either forcefully or through compromise from your children for a period of time, and then you reunited again. Not only have you influenced the next generation, they have changed you completely from the inside out. There has been betrayal here, and you had to learn sheer discipline and willpower to keep your faith in them. You learned that your handiwork was also capable of manipulating you for control, and you had to navigate again through those emotional landmines that only a reasoned and compassionate compromise was where the power really lays. Um, so when Pluto enters a house, he takes your characteristics towards that house and completely deconstructs them, um, burns them up, if you will. He's associated with the house of sex, death, and taxes, and death is an allegory to a phoenix rising from the sun. Because in order for you to learn the power of um, control, power struggles, and then be forced to compromise, you need to shed your old skin. Your analytical and your orgaz, or sorry, organizational nature has been deconstructed in phases, taking on the role of Pluto, Persephone, and Ceres towards your Capricorn characters in your fifth house of lovers and children and pets. So, if it is the parental role of a Virgo, then you took the role of Ceres. And if you listen to the first video of Pluto's story, you'll understand who Ceres is. Out of love and safety for your children, you were controlling. And now, this final phase of Pluto and Capricorn, it might be that maybe they are ready to fly out, and you don't want that. Maybe you're a single parent and you have this need to control how they're feeling, and you want to keep them close, just like Sirius did. But again, so their freedom is um, it you can't control freedom, is what I'm trying to say. And the loss that you learned during your Pluto run will help you now if it is a child flying out of the coop or losing a lover that's younger than you. In any case, um, The ultimate test is about to play out in this house for you during Pluto's retrograde and direct motion in Capricorn. Like I said, that started last Christmas and started back up again the first week of September, but I'll discuss that in your horoscope, October horoscope. So, do you want to control or do you want compromise? Because nobody wants to let go of power, and there has to be a compromise and to share power. You already know you have power, and I'll cut to the chase and tell you that the secret is to be compassionate and have disciplined faith that if you compromise or on sharing this power, Pluto will reward you with a surprising gift by Christmas into January regarding this area of your life. Um, it will reward you for all your trials, tribulations, and sacrifices you have made here. Yeah. So just please keep the faith. Don't be like the musician who was tested by Pluto regarding his wife, who was given an opportunity but lost it because he had no faith or his faith was shaky. Um, and again, you'll have to listen to the first video that tells you the story to understand. But this is not to discount what you have been through, um, because you are also a very compassionate person. Um, but you have been through fire and back, so bravo on that, and you've got this. Okay, so let's wrap it up with your October 2024 horoscope. um, and I'm going to pull up those date those dates and aspects, and I'm going to read through them. If you want to um, have a visual of that, you can go to the first video. I do throw it up, and you can take a screenshot and follow me, or you can just enjoy the slideshow, and I'll do all the work. Okay, so October opens up with a new moon solar eclipse on the 2nd at 10 degrees Libra, 2 minutes. This is closely conjunct the south node of the moon at 6 degrees of Libra and opposes the north node in Aries. On October 4th, Libra is your second house of income, job, um, and your value system. And then Aries rules your eighth house of joint finances, excuse me, of regeneration, of credit, loans, and any government funding. It is the house of where you earn or benefit from other people's money, not your own. It is also the house of inheritance. Okay, sorry about that. I had to clear my throat. Okay, so yeah, something about a new opportunity, um, a new job, a new income strategy that is opposing the house of joint finances. Um, what what you think is a new opportunity or a new job, um, there may be something, a hidden factor, something concealed, because a lunar eclipse, even a solar eclipse, a new solar eclipse, eclipses in general conceal things. Not everything, but something is concealed. So I always suggest that to skip decisions on eclipses. And their energy is 1 week before or after, even maybe even longer. But give yourself a week before you make a decision if a decision needs to be made. Okay, so on October 4th, Venus in Scorpio will trine Saturn in Pisces. And Scorpio for you is your third house of communication and commuting, your neighborhood. And Pisces is your seventh house of partnerships. So um, this trine is a pleasing aspect, it's a soft aspect. So sometimes we don't feel them, but uh, what's happening is something regarding your neighborhood or your community, um, or your commuting or phone calls or a new communication device. is nicely working with your partner or your partners. Maybe your partner is moving close, and there's shorter trips. Anyway, it's a pleasing aspect. On October 6th, Mercury in Libra will square Mars in Cancer. Again, Libra is your second house of job and income and your value system. And Cancer is your 11th house of friends, groups, and associations. And this is a tense aspect, square. But I always say don't fear the squares. Squares are really actually very good because they jumpstart a situation that's stagnant, or they force a compromise. Excuse me, which is good. At least, there's some sort of compromise. And here it's Mercury, so you'll be talking about this. There will be a conversation or agreement, or contract of some sort. Okay, on October 8th, Venus in Scorpio, um, again, your third house, will send a pleasing aspect to Mars in Cancer, your 11th house. So maybe a friend moves in close to your neighborhood, or you move to another neighborhood where it's close to friends. Anyway, it's a good aspect here. And Mercury in Libra will trine Jupiter in Gemini. Libra again is your second house of income, and um, Gemini is your 10th house of career, reputation, status, and authority figures. This is a pleasing aspect that trine is. So something regarding your income is your 10th house of career and status is benefiting from your job and income. And Jupiter has been expanding this area of your status, your reputation, your career, and authority figures ever since May. This has been blessed by Jupiter. And since it's a Gemini, there's some kind of a dualism in there, two of something regarding your career. Okay, on October 9th, Jupiter in Gemini will station retrograde. So, well, like I mentioned, since your career and reputation has been expanding here since May, here on October 9th, it will stop this expansion and retrograde. So that because it's been overwhelming, because Jupiter expands everything. So this retrograde it's not taking away from you, but it's reviewing what is working and what is not working, and you will be making the cuts. Okay, on October 11th, here's the important date regarding Pluto's unfinished business. Pluto will station direct in Capricorn. And when a powerhouse planet like this, or Jupiter or Neptune, when they station, just their immense vibration transports you almost between realms. A veil is lifted. You get a vision, a signal. So pay attention on October 11th, because this is in regards to this last rerun of Pluto in Capricorn, a day or two even before or after. Excuse me. So October 11th is important. On October 13th, Mercury in Libra will square Pluto in Capricorn. Another important date, because it's regarding Capricorn. So, a conversation or a message regarding your second house of income will cause a tense aspect regarding um, your fifth house of love, romance, children, and creativity. And again, a square forces a compromise. So, this is a win win for both situations. Maybe there's this move, and it involves something with your income and your children, or your income and a lover, or your income and a pet. Excuse me. I'm sorry about that. I need more water. um, On the 14th, Sun in Libra will square Mars in Cancer. Uh, Libra is again your second house, and Cancer is your 11th house of friends. Square is a tense aspect, but it forces a compromise. So, a win win for both your second house of income and your friend house or groups or associations. Okay, on the 15th, Venus in Scorpio will trine Neptune in Pisces. Nice. So, Scorpio is your third house of communication and commuting, and it's sending an extra beautiful vibe. I'm saying extra because it's Venus, and trine is a soft aspect to your partner or between your partner. So, something between your third house and seventh house is going well on October 15th. Now, here's a busy day, October 17th. Venus in Scorpio will trine Pluto in Capricorn. Um, Important because one, it involves this rerun of Pluto in Capricorn, and Scorpio is your third house of community, commute, and communication and commuting. Will sit well with your fifth house of love, romance, children, and creativity. So before, when it was squaring, um, maybe here they you find a nice neighborhood or a nice compromise, and it is pleasing to your children or your lover. On the same day, a full moon in Aries. Aries is your house of sex, death, and taxes. Sex refers to, yes, sex, but also intimacy, true intimacy, bearing your soul. And death, no astrologer can predict death. This is an allegory for a regeneration, going through trials and tribulations and through the fire, and ending up on the other side as a completely different person, a phoenix rising from the ashes. And then taxes, this is the house of joint finances, other people's money that you benefit from, lottery, inheritance, government funding, credits, and loans. So that's what entails the eighth house. Um, so it's a full moon. It's an ending. Yeah, a stop, or it could be a culmination or a fruition of your past efforts in the eighth house of joint finances. Full moons are always emotional, and no decisions should be made during a full moon or an eclipse. So give it a few days. And the same day, I said this was busy. Venus will enter Sagittarius. This is beautiful. Um, Sagittarius is your fourth house of emotional foundation and roots, home and family and parents, your country. A very deeply emotional rooted house for you. Excuse me. And Venus coming in here, beautifying this house, or attracting money, or um, the finer things in life is beautiful. So for the next month or so, Venus will be doing its magic with your home and family. Okay, on the 22nd of October, the Sun in Libra this time squares Pluto in Capricorn. So if you remember on the 13th, it was the conversation that tensed up to your fifth house of love and romance. Well, whatever that conversation was, or compromise or agreement, here on the 22nd, it is acted upon. The energy from the sun gets it moving. On the 28th of October, Venus in Sagittarius will square Saturn in Pisces. So, this beautifying of your home has a tense aspect to your partner. Um, why would your partner disagree? It doesn't have to be like a disagreement. Maybe you're choosing one type of a house that your partner thinks it should be another, or maybe furniture, or maybe renovation specifications. But it again, it's a square. Don't fear squares. um, There is a win-win situation here. On October 30th, Mercury in Scorpio will oppose Uranus in Taurus. Scorpio, your third house of community and neighbors and commuting, and Taurus is your ninth house of higher education, um, foreign people, traveling, mm, the World Wide Web, and publishing. Um, so, so there's a conversation or a message um, about your neighborhood or commuting that is directly opposing some kind of travel of foreign people or the World Wide Web or publishing. It's the start because then you'll have the sun and other planets coming in. So this is the start. This is the conversation. This is the message. So look what happens on the 30th regarding communication about your neighborhood opposing your travel house. Okay, on the same day, Mercury in Scorpio at 27 degrees will trine, however, Neptune in Pisces. So, um, messages and conversations about your neighborhood and commuting will have a pleasing aspect to your partner. It rhymes well, it sits well with each other. So, that is a wrap for October. Um, just two things because I'm not really going to speculate on the bigger picture here, but just two things to be aware of is this new moon solar eclipse. What seems like a done deal um, might not be. So just hold off on decisions and then watch carefully the aspects of Pluto here, especially on the 11th when it stations, which will give you a clue of this unfinished business and what the outcome may be so that you take the necessary precautions with your emotional feelings. Predictive astrology, you cannot stop what's happening. You need to be where you are. You need to go through that journey, but it just helps you emotionally to see things coming. So look to October 11th for that clue for you because we want you to have that phoenix, that gift by Christmas. Okay, Virgo. So definitely keep the faith. And hi, Libra. Welcome. So in this video, I will be discussing your October uh, horoscope with an emphasis on Pluto. So first, I'll um, um, talk about Pluto a little bit and your Capricorn related house because Pluto has returned to Capricorn for some unfinished business here. Um, if there are revelations to be made or compromises, it will happen within this time period that Pluto has returned. So, at the risk of being repetitive, I am suggesting that you, I'm strongly suggesting that you listen to the first video, the first part, because this is the third video and third part. And the first video in the introduction, it goes into detail about Pluto and his story. And that gives you, that can really help you understand what you've been navigating the past 15 years in your Capricorn related house and what the struggles have been. So that'll just you get a big picture, a clearer mindset to navigate this unfinished business that you're going to go through um, in the next month and a half. Okay, so first let's start about Pluto. What could this unfinished business be in Capricorn that is occupying your fourth house of home and family? Well, if you think back to Christmas of last year through January, something out of the ordinary happened. It could have been shocking or jarring or something exciting that involved some kind of a fall from grace, a demotion maybe, or it could have been a promotion. Um, people moving away or separating in some kind of way, leaving, or a project being completed or canceled. Um, that opened up some kind of door for you um, in your fourth house of home and family. And I don't know if I already explained, but Capricorn is your fourth house of home, family, parents, your physical abode. So it can be an apartment or a house. And then Capricorn rules um, the traditional, it rules security, government, military, law enforcement, um, and just older people. Or they can be younger, but they just seem more distinguished and patience. So, in any case, just in case I hadn't done that, so I wanted to throw that in there. So, the fourth house is your physical home or abode, like I explained. It is about your immediate family, your parents, your roots, your safe space. So, it is a very emotionally deep rooted house. For Libras, this Pluto and Capricorn was brutal. I didn't go through it in my fourth house, but I can not even imagine what you guys have been through. Maybe one of your family members left, or the kids went off to college, or you got a new family member moving in. Um, Maybe you were involved with your parents' home, maybe they moved in with you. Maybe you started to upgrade, downgrade, renovate, sell, purchase, or it could have been simply some kind of an emotional situation in your home or family. Whatever the situation was, suffice to say, it involved some kind of change in your fourth house that begun but is yet to complete it. I'm talking about, um, yes, the past 15 years, but most importantly, what happened last Christmas, because it bookends uh, at the end of this year by Christmas with a gift. Um, so then Pluto moved on from Capricorn to Uranus, but in May of this year, Pluto stopped and retrograded back through Uranus, all the way backing up into Capricorn on September 1st. That is your second clue of what this unfinished business is about. So that first week, whatever the discussion or message in regards to your fourth house was. So look at your call logs, messages, or emails to trigger a memory if you don't remember. Now, this is where it is important to listen to the first video explaining Pluto and his story for you to understand what this last phase of Pluto is. Um, because when Pluto leaves Capricorn by Christmas this year in January, he will bestow a gift for you for your trials, tribulations, and the sacrifices you have made in your fourth house. It's the least Pluto can do. Um, Pluto is associated with complete regeneration, a rebirth, a phoenix rising from the ashes. So, in a sense, Pluto still has some, I guess, ashes to burn or secrets to reveal here until November when he does leave and completely remakes your new fourth house, which is cool. So, let's think back to 2008 um, and what you have experienced in Capricorn. You either had the perfect home and family life and was instant, but then it was instantly disrupted, or there was a passionate desire for you to achieve a traditional perfect home and family. When Pluto entered Capricorn, it lights that desire and you. And if you listen to the first video of Pluto's story, it'll make sense. And you were either willing to lose control or gain control by any means to achieve this hallmark family, home and family thing. Through this journey, you have experienced a deconstruction or a destruction, manipulation, power struggles, jealousy, hidden things, obstacles, and especially fear regarding this home and family situation. In the mix, And like I mentioned, the government, law enforcement, loans, credits, banks, powerful people had the control and you had none. Or you had the control, but you lost it. It was a power struggle between you and them. Because this is a very emotionally rooted house, the pain of loss, the solution, and fear has completely and entirely transformed how you relate to the fourth house. Okay, and since Libra is all about relationships and balance, a relationship and the balance of who controlled what has been central for the past 15 years here. Sorry about that. The lesson has been you being Persephone pulled between Pluto and Ceres characters in your fourth house of home and family. So maybe between your partner and your children, or your parents and your partner, um, or like I said, your partner and maybe a mortgage, something like that. Uh, so I'm sorry, I'm looking at three different screens. With that, and through this journey, you have lost that unnerving fear of losing control through sheer discipline and faith. Now, hold on to that confidence that you've gained, most especially your faith and discipline, as Pluto puts you through this final test, as he did when he gave the musician about his wife leaving the underworld with him. And again, the first video tells that story. So that'll make sense now. Okay, so knowing all this, let us go over your October horoscope. And it's, where am I? I'm going to switch the slideshow and put up the dates of October. Oh my gosh, I didn't even start your slideshow. I'm so sorry. Um, I'll start it now, but I just need to switch screens. All right. I'm sorry about that. For Libra. Okay, let us go. There we go. Okay, so October opens up with a new moon solar eclipse on October 2nd in your sign at 10 degrees 2 minutes. It is closely conjunct the south node of the moon at 6 degrees of Libra, and it opposes the north node in Aries. Aries is your seventh house of partners, contractual partners, marriage, business partners, live in relationships, and it is the house of open enemies. So, something about you, your profile will be in direct opposition with your partners. On October 4th, Venus in Scorpio will trine Saturn in Pisces. Scorpio is your second house of job, income, and your value system. And it is sending, trines are soft aspects, they're pleasing aspects. So, not a lot of us are aware of them or feel them, but here it is your house of job and income, and it is sending a pleasing aspect to your sixth house of work, habits, routines, and scheduling. On the 6th, Mercury in your sign will square Mars in Cancer. Squares are tense aspects, and against popular belief, I actually like squares. People are afraid of them, but squares jumpstart a stagnant situation. Squares force compromise, a much needed compromise. So I believe squares are a win win situation. So again, Mercury in your sign. So you're thinking, what you're talking about, the agreement you're proposing is tensing up to your 10th house of house, or I'm sorry, career status, fame, and reputation. Um, and status can stand for married, not married, single, not single. It's a status position. On October 8th, Venus in Scorpio, which is your second house of income, again will send a pleasing aspect. It's a trine to Mars in Cancer. And Cancer is your 10th house of career, reputation, and status. And with Mars being here, um, there is there is energy, there is movement. Um, so maybe your bosses, uh, power figures, they're getting things moving. Okay, Mercury in Libra, your sign again, will send a trine, a soft, pleasing aspect to Jupiter in Gemini. Now, since May, when Jupiter first entered Gemini, things have been expanding here for you. And this is your ninth house of travel, travel in the mind, people, foreign places, the World Wide Web, publishing, higher academia, university, philosophy, and psychology. So something has been expanding here, and since it's Gemini, it's been like two of something or two squared of something. Um, so yeah, so whatever messages that you're thinking about or you're talking, it is trining your ninth house of travel. October 9th, Jupiter will station retrograde in Gemini. So, like I mentioned, whatever has been expanding here has been overwhelming almost. So, what'll happen now is it'll stop expanding and it will go retrograde so that you may review what is working and what is not working in your house of travel and academics. On October 11th, this is an important date, Pluto will station direct in Capricorn. And whenever a planet, such as a powerhouse planet like Pluto or Jupiter, whenever they station to either go direct or retrograde, the energy is so immense, the vibration, that you are sent a signal. You are given a vision. Um, you can see between the veil. Um, so since Pluto has unfinished business here, this is your biggest clue on October 11th. You will get a message or a signal or see what this unfinished business is about and how it'll end up. And that'll help you pass this test. So pay attention to the 11th or a day or two before or after. Okay, on October 13th, Mercury in your sign, will square Pluto in Capricorn. Another important date. So your thinking or talking um, tenses up, has a tense aspect to your home and family. Whatever you're thinking or coming up with an agreement. And again, squares are good. They force compromise, so both parties win. You win, and your home and family wins. October 14th, the Sun in Libra will square Mars in Cancer. So if you remember, first it was Mercury in Libra squaring Mars in Cancer. Now whatever that message or agreement was, now it will be acted upon. So this is between your first house of self, and Cancer is your 10th house of career. On the 15th, Venus in Scorpio trines Neptune in Pisces. This is a pleasing aspect. Scorpio is your second house of money and income and values, and Pisces is your sixth house of schedules and routine. On the 17th, here's another important date, Venus in Scorpio, your money house, will send this pleasing aspect to Pluto in Capricorn, your fourth house of home and family. So, something regarding your income, your value system, um, and uh, gains from your home and family, or vice versa. Your home and family situation gains from your job and income. It's a very good, pleasing aspect. On the same day, there is a full moon in Aries. Aries is your seventh house of partnership and marriage. Something ends here. Full stop. For most of you. For others, it's a ending of a uh, like an engagement, and it's a commitment to marriage, or an ending of dating and going on to marriage or engagement, but it is an ending. And also, full moons, it's the moon, it's hidden, and it's a full moon, so things are concealed. So, also give it a day or two before any decisions if you have to make decisions on this day. Try to avoid it. Um, okay, on the 7th, sorry about that. On the 17th, also, Venus will enter Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is your third house of communication, commuting, neighborhood, neighbors, um, of social media, of your need to be heard. Um, I think I said communication devices. So Venus will start beautifying this for you, whereas if before you were having problems or you didn't see it as beautiful, then Venus coming in here will benefit that. On October 22nd, the Sun in your sign will square Pluto in Capricorn. Another tense aspect, but important one. If you remember on the 13th, when it was Mercury, when it was first the discussion and the messages and thinking, well, now it's the Sun. Now the Sun gives energy to that discussion and the thinking. So it is acted upon here. Okay, and then on the 28th, Venus in Sagittarius, your third house of neighborhood and commuting, will square, tense up to Pisces, your sixth house of health, habits, and routines. So something regarding maybe your communication device might not work. Maybe your phone dies when you need to call an Uber or something, or maybe you're commuting. Um, messes up your schedule or routine. So be careful with your cars and your phones during that date, um, because a square again is a tense aspect. Okay, and then on the 30th, Mercury in Scorpio will oppose Uranus in Taurus. Um, Taurus is your eighth house of joint finances, intimacy, um, inheritance. It is the house where you benefit from other people's money. And Scorpio is your second house of job and income. So there is a direct opposition, it's opposing each other. Your house of job and income is not agreeing with whatever is going on with your joint finances to those degrees in your natal chart. Also on the same day, Mercury in Scorpio will trine Neptune in Pisces. And again, there's a message, there's a talk regarding your fourth house of home and family, which is sending a pleasing aspect to your sixth house of schedules and routine. So that wraps up October. And where was I? I'm looking at the screen. Yeah, I'm back here. So that wraps up November or October, and hopefully now you have a clue, or definitely on the 11th of October, you'll have a clue about what this unfinished Pluto business is about. And I would welcome your comments in the comment section. Maybe we can learn about your journey the past 15 years in Capricorn, because we will never see Pluto in Capricorn in our lifetimes. It takes 250 years for Pluto to make a complete zodiac turn. Or if you have any questions or comments, we welcome that as well. And it helps the algorithm for YouTube too. In any case, thank you, Libra. Happy birthday. It is your birthday month. And good luck. Hi, Scorpio. Okay, so this is video number 3, part 3. And in this video, I will go over your October horoscope with an emphasis on Pluto and Capricorn, because Pluto has returned for some unfinished business here, and it'll be the final test. So I first urge you to listen to the first video, because in the introduction of the first video, I go through uh, information in detail regarding Pluto and his story, and it will really help you understand what you have um, surmounted and experienced the last 15 years, and it will give you a clearer picture of what this unfinished business in Capricorn from Pluto is, because Pluto is relentless, so he hasn't really finished burning things down to make us transform into a phoenix, and secrets will be revealed and things will come out. So I do urge you to listen to the first video and the introduction. It'll make a lot of sense to you. Okay, so let us start. I'm going to start the slideshow. Oh, a lot of people ask me, oh, why I put these close-ups for Scorpio portraits close-ups. It's because Scorpions have something about their eyes. There's a twinkle in their eyes. There's this magic. It pulls people in. If you notice any Scorpion, they have these magical eyes, so that's why I put that in there. All right. So let me just see where I am, because I'm looking at three different screens. Okay, here we go. So, okay, Scorpio, what could this last Pluto test be in your Capricorn related house? Well, Capricorn rules your third house of neighbors, neighborhood, communication devices, commuting. So, as well, cars would fall in there. Short trips, translation, and social media. So, your need to be heard. And your first clue to what this last Pluto test could be is linked to what happened Christmas of last year into January and even February. Something unexpected, something surprising. It could have been jarring or shocking, where there were, because it's Pluto leaving Capricorn, there were demotions, promotions, lateral moves. People may have just moved or retired. Unfortunately, some people passed away. Projects could have been completed or canceled or even shelved that opened up some kind of opportunity for you in your third house. That's your first clue. Then Pluto moved into Uranus and in May stopped and started retrograding back all the way into Capricorn on September 1st. That is your second clue of what this rerun of Pluto could be about. So think back to the first week of September, or look at your call log, messages, or emails to help you remember if you have no clue. Now, before I highlight your October horoscope, let us just quickly revisit your journey through Capricorn. So, at the end of 2008, when Pluto first entered Capricorn, oh, by the way, Capricorn also rules the traditional social climbing. It um, it, it governs government, banks, institutions, the military, law enforcement, security, and the such. So just so you know that. So when Pluto first entered Capricorn, there was a burning desire, a passionate flame that lit up uh, for you in your third house of communication and commuting. Maybe it was to get a translation job, or you had to learn a certain um, um, language, but the nuances that are unspoken or spoken a certain way were um, was where you needed to concentrate on, or maybe you needed to have the top of the line communication devices, learning coding or learn hacking, even unlocking or app manipulation regarding communication devices, or your neighborhood and neighbors were just awful. I'm laughing with you, or not ideal for your status or situation. Maybe you were smitten by social media and your need to be heard and have followers became intensely important for you. and you needed to have power in that respect. And you can translate that to your mode of transportation. Um, Maybe you really wanted uh, an electric car, or you were involved with taking or making something about public transportation really desirable. Maybe you were learning engineering or city planning. Whatever the desire was, Pluto did send you very powerful people, directly or indirectly. Indirectly, maybe like a friend of a friend type of a deal, who had powerful jobs or knowledge to help you or show you how to achieve these third house desires. What was also in the mix was something, let me just make sure so I don't mess it up. Yeah. Something um, uh, constantly surprising you related to your health, habits, routine, and scheduling, and or service to another or others. Since your sixth house of chaos and scheduling and routine was in the mix, and for some of you, a relationship or children was also involved. So your value system here was also tested. You may have lost faith in the straight and narrow and decided to cut corners, maybe through manipulation, or done the taboo to gain control. Now I have to, uh, anyway, I'll remember later. So there was some kind of debilitating fear here because Capricorn does rule, like I said, military and law enforcement. Or maybe it was something regarding security, a fear around security. Or maybe you needed a clearance. Um, that is translating into as fear, maybe. But suffice it to say, fear was a big factor too. It could be a myriad of situations, but to keep it short and narrow our focus on the lesson of Pluto and what you are to be confronted with in this last Pluto run, um, your clue is extreme discipline in keeping the faith and a fair and equal compromise. So if you listen to the first video and the story of the musician and Pluto, it'll give you a bigger picture. And I can't stress this enough because if you pass this test um, this Christmas into January, you will receive a gift from Pluto. And it is all due, well, it's the least Pluto can do for all your trials, tribulations, and sacrifices you've gone through here. And Pluto is relentless. He is associated with death and rebirth, the phoenix rising from the ashes. So Pluto is not done with Capricorn until he has burnt the last ash. I'm laughing with you, Scorpio. I'm laughing with you. Yeah, so he can make you reborn into a beautiful phoenix. And yet, as much as Pluto is relentless and powerful, he was brought down to his knees, having to compromise with Ceres over Persephone. And his test for the musician, like I mentioned, and the musician's wife. This is the final test. I'm going no, I'm not going to repeat that. So, in any case, I'm not worried about you, Scorpio. You are extremely patient and you have a steel will. Um, just like a scorpion, if you watch it, it stands still, waiting, and waiting some more. But when you decide to move, you are extremely fast. So, Capricorn is a very, very cautious social climber and does not do fast. So that is one area to be cautious of. Okay, well, enough of that. Let us wrap it up with your October horoscope highlight. Um, and let me just switch to that. Okay, the month opens up with a new moon solar eclipse on October 2nd at 10 degrees Libra, 2 minutes. This is closely conjunct the south node of the moon at 6 degrees of Libra, and it opposes the north node in Aries. Excuse me. And eclipse energies can last up to a week after, or it can start a week before. Now, just the general rule, or what I believe, is a lunar eclipse And even a solar eclipse, this new solar eclipse, it's an eclipse. It's going to hide something. Something will be concealed from you. So I generally say keep the rule of if you have to make a decision, choose another day. Don't choose it on an eclipse or a full moon because there is something hidden about this. And this is Libra, and Libra for you is your. It's already. I just saw it's already your 12th house of secrets, behind the scenes, confining spaces, um, also religion and faith as well, um, and just your past or your history. Okay, uh, so since it is something about that, just be careful. Yeah, something is being hidden from you, doubly hidden here. It's an eclipse and it's in your 12th house. And this opposition to the North Node in Aries. Aries rules your 6th house of health habits, routine, scheduling, small pets, and it's the house of gossip. So this direct opposition, yeah, just in case you're doing things behind the scenes, running about, um, it may get disrupted, and you might not even know why. Anyway, skip the eclipse for decisions. On October 4th, Venus in your sign will trine Saturn in Pisces. So Venus is in your sign, making you more beautiful, attracting money to you, and goodwill. And trine is a pleasing aspect, so um, you are giving a good vibe to your 5th house of love, romance, children, and creativity. Um, that house is seeing you in a very beautiful light. And this is a nice day, so enjoy it. October 6th, Mercury in Libra, your 12th house of secrets and behind the scenes, will square Mars in Cancer. It is your ninth house of foreigners, travel, and higher education. Um, so, a conversation in secret, behind the scenes, a thought or a thinking of an idea that's hidden, tenses up to your ninth house of travel in the mind. Squares, a lot of people fear them. Don't fear the squares. Embrace the squares. I like squares because squares jumpstart something stagnant or stale. It also forces compromise where, it's not a direct opposition, but there's opposition, but it forces, you know, uh, a, a coming together. So I think it's a win-win situation for both houses. On October 8th, Venus in your sign will send a pleasing aspect this time to your to Mars in Cancer. So your ninth house of travel and higher education. So something about you is sitting well with your travel house. Maybe you're making plans with a foreigner, um, or about school. Anyway, look to those degrees in your natal chart to see if they match. On the same day, Mercury in Libra, your hidden house, will trine Jupiter in Gemini. Okay, this is interesting. So, Gemini is your 8th house of sex, death, and taxes. And sex here can be sex, or translates to intimacy, true intimacy, bearing your soul. And death, no astrologer can predict death. Only God can, but it's an allegory for a rebirth, a regeneration. And then taxes, this is the house of joint finances. It's the house where you gain money from others. This is the house of inheritance, bank loans, credit, government funding, benefits. Okay, so that's what Gemini is. And since May, this house has been expanding for you in some aspect, in one aspect or a combination of eighth house matters. Um, so here we have Mercury in Libra. There's talk behind the scenes, thinking in secret, or something about religion or faith that gives a good aspect to this deep down sexy house. um, yeah, look for those degrees in your natal chart to see if you are affected. But it's a trine, it's a good aspect. On the 9th, Jupiter retrogrades in Gemini. So it's going to station and retrograde in Gemini. So, like I said, um, Jupiter has been expanding this eighth house of joint finances for you ever since May. And since it's Gemini, it's usually doubled or two squared. So it's become overwhelming. And right now it's going to stop. So that expansion is going to stop. And you'll be reviewing what works and what doesn't work when it goes retrograde. Okay, on October 11th, here's the key date. Pluto stations direct in Capricorn. When powerful planets such as Jupiter or Pluto, when they station, they are so powerful, the vibration alone sends you a signal, or it elevates you um, to see between things. You're between realms, you're between dimensions, you get a vision. So this is a very key date on October 11th. Pay attention to it, even a day before or after. You are going to be shown what this final test and unfinished business is and how you can pass it. So pay attention to that date. On October 13th, Mercury in Libra squares Pluto in Capricorn, another important date for you. So, um, thinking, talking messages behind the scenes will tense up to your third house of communication and commuting. Again, squares is good, so it's a win win, it's a compromise. I'm just thinking what this could be. Um, if you're behaving badly, maybe it is a secret lover that you're making this commuting back and forth to. Anyway, for some of you, it could be. For others, just look for a compromise in this situation. Okay, October 14th, the Sun in Libra will square Mars in Cancer. So the information, conversation, messages that you had earlier um, with Mars in Cancer, now it's the Sun. So the Sun is giving energy to this thought and this communication to move forward. And again, it's either a forced compromise or something starts here. On the 15th, Venus in Scorpio will trine Neptune in Pisces. So again, this is your energy. You're giving good vibes to your house of love, romance, and children and creativity. Okay, on the 17th, Venus in your sign will trine Pluto in Capricorn. Beautiful, nice. So, something about you, um, your changed appearance, or you're appearing confident, beautiful, rich, or whatever, it sits well with your um, third house of community, communications, and neighborhood. On the same day, there is a full moon in Aries. Okay, Aries is your sixth house of health, habit, and routine. And full moons are endings. Full stop. I mean, it can be a culmination or a fruition of your past efforts, but it is an ending of some sort. So maybe you are ending taking transportation because you get a new car, or maybe your car is going into repair and you're going to use public transportation, or maybe you get a new communication device. Um, and your scheduling and routine will now change. The old way you were doing it, you know, you're going to be doing it differently. But in any case, eclipses, full moons, a moon is hidden, it's at night. So things are hidden here. So avoid any decisions on a full moon, especially. Oh my God. Um, okay, and on the same day, a very busy October 17th, Venus will enter Sagittarius. Yay! It leaves your sign for Sagittarius, and that is your money house, your job, income, and your value system. So you're going to be getting more money, maybe overtime. Um, it's just going to be beautifying this house for you. Okay, on October 22nd, another important date, the Sun in Libra will square Pluto in Capricorn. So if you remember on the 13th, the Mercury in Libra was squaring Pluto. So whatever talk, conversation, messages behind the scenes, forced a compromise with your third house of communication, well, here this Sun is acting on it. It's getting revealed. So, and it's squaring up to Pluto. Um, yeah, just look at the degrees, but because this looks like something hidden that's going to be revealed, and it's forcing something in your third house of neighbors and neighborhood. So look to the degrees and see if they match. Because if it's a secret being revealed, mm, anyway, again it has to do with this unfinished business. And the previous dates I gave you should give you a clue. All right, on the 28th, Venus in Sagittarius, your money house, will square Saturn in Pisces, your fifth house of love, romance, and creativity. So, your job and income house has a tense aspect to your lovers. Maybe you're having to spend more money on a lover or children. Um, but look at the degrees to see if those match your natal sign. Then on October 30th, Mercury in your sign will oppose Uranus in Taurus. Hmm, interesting. So Taurus is your seventh house of partnership, marriage, platonic partnerships, business partnerships, and the house of open enemies. It is the house of mirrors. It's not about the partner, it's about how you feel inside. So they're holding up a mirror to you. Um, So, a conversation, thinking, a thought, a message will directly oppose a partner on the 30th. Yeah, you're opposing a partner, you're not in agreement. So, look to those degrees. And also, Mercury in Scorpio in your sign will trine, benefit Pisces, your fifth house of love, romance, and children. Okay, well, maybe here you and a partner are in disagreement about children or creativity. And if it is a lover, yeah, if I was your partner, I'd be mad too. I'm laughing with you, Scorpio. All right, well, that wraps up October. I hope that helped you out somewhat. And good luck on this unfinished business and last test in Capricorn with Pluto. And I'm telling every sign, we wish for you to comment below and let us know what your journey with Pluto and Capricorn has meant, because we will never see Pluto and Capricorn again in our lifetimes. So, not everybody has experienced the same house, and now you're a guru. So, we would like to get some hints, um, advice on how we can handle it. And then, of course, we welcome any comments or questions. And it also helps the algorithm for my videos. Shamelessly plug that in. Okay, anyway, Scorpio, it was a pleasure. Okay, that'll wrap it up for this video number 3. and the remaining signs will be on video number 4. Again, look in the comments for links to navigate between the two, and I will see you in the next video.